Sight and Sound Theaters displays an incredible opportunity to see your most heartfelt Bible stories come to life on stage. Come along with us for today's episode where we take you behind the scenes of one of the most well-known female Bible characters and the show Queen Esther. Lead actress Emily Baker takes us through the backstage process, staging, props, and even introduces us to the biggest creature in the show. So come get ready for Queen Esther with us. It is quite evident that this theater is beyond beautiful from the exterior. However, we believe that this beauty and attention to detail is equally as incredible when guests enter the lobby area. Then Sight and Sound cranks it up even more as you enter the theater. When walking into the theater, we are consistently in amazement of the massive set in this production. The entire city of Susa is so big and beyond well thought out in design. This wraparound panoramic stage helps the audience feel immersed into every story taking place. As you will see backstage with us in just a moment, there are so many moving parts and pieces in this production. We feel beyond blessed to have been invited for this extremely rare behind-the-scenes tour at Sight and Sound Theaters, and we are very happy that we get to share cast and crew insight with you all today. We had the honor of meeting Emily Baker, the lead playing the role of Queen Esther. Emily is such an incredibly humble, kind, and as you will see in the show, very talented young lady. We are honored to be able to meet her and have the chance to see and hear things from her perspective, playing the role of Queen Esther.
My name is Emily Baker. I've been here at this theater for the past 7 years now. Yeah, and it's just been an absolute pleasure to work here. It's just, honestly, it's the coolest place ever to get to work. Yeah, that's a little bit about me, but I'd love to kind of walk you over to our dressing room area and kind of show you where I get ready and stuff like that. Do you want to come see? Yeah. This is our backstage left area. Back here we have 4 dressing rooms. We have 3 male dressing rooms, and then the female dressing room is here in the back, so you guys can come follow me. All right, come on in. So here's our female dressing room. Here's my station. What's really fun is we kind of get to personalize them and make it feel like home because we do spend lots of time here. Let's see. Here are some of my jewelry pieces from when I play Esther.
Ooh, look at that.
So this one is when I'm crowned queen and I wear it with the blue dress. Do you want to put this on?
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
so pretty.
And here's one that I wear just kind of all the time. Do you want to wear one?
Oh, you want to wear it.
That's not for me. That's okay. It's kind of heavy. You can feel it if you want. It's pretty heavy for a necklace. You know what I mean? Yeah. Do you like it? What's fun is that we've got little magnets on the back, so we can put them on really fast and quick changes.
Oh, that is good.
And then I've got this flower that I wear that actually magnets into my wig. Here are my 3 Esther wigs. So we've got 1, 2, and 3. This is the one I wear for most of the show, and it's got these really pretty golden beads in it. And then there's a magnet right there to hold the flower into place. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's just sit right up there. And then I've got my little earrings that I wear all throughout the show, which is super fun. My low crown, we call it, and my high crown. And these actually also have magnets in them, funny enough. There's a magnet right back here, and that just kind of helps it stay on. If I don't know, I guess if I start going crazy. It doesn't actually fit me when I'm not wearing my wig. But we've got this low one, and then this high one is even bigger, and it's got this padding in here, and that's again just to help it stay on my head.
Yeah.
But here, do you wanna feel these? Here. Pretty heavy, huh?
It's not heavy.
Yeah, that one's much lighter, you're right. Yeah. But you wanna know something crazy? So do you remember the King Xerxes? He has 2 crowns too, but for him, his high crown is a crown that looks like this plus this. So he's actually wearing 2 crowns at once. Isn't that crazy? I don't think I could do that. Yeah, and this is honestly where I get to hang out with a bunch of my friends. It's so fun. But actually, funny enough, for this show and specifically for the role of Esther, She does so many quick changes that I'm actually never in here during the show. I get to come back here 2 times during the show, and those are the only 2 times that I actually change my own clothes. Every other time I'm quick changing somewhere on set or backstage, and I actually have a dresser who's with me the whole time, and she's helping me put on my costumes and take them off and hand me the right wig. I would be nowhere without my dresser. She's the best.
The long line of costumes just in the women's dressing room was incredible. It led us to ask a few questions about the number of costumes in the entire production. Emily let us know that over 17,000 costume pieces were created for the Queen Esther show.
Emily was so wonderful with our kids, and they will be fans of hers forever. She asked them what their favorite part of the show was, and this was their response.
What was your favorite part?
When you got crowned queen.
Yeah, did you like how like all the flowers and the gold pieces fell from the ceiling? That's really fun.
That's the same part as me too.
Yeah? Well, guess what? We actually have one of my dresses that I wear when I'm crowned queen out on stage. Do you want to go see it? Yeah?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. What do you think?
That's so cool.
Isn't that super long? Do you want to guess how long that cape is? 15 feet long.
Oh my goodness.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. It doesn't look like.
Well, yeah, it's actually all bundled up here. If I already yanked this out, it would go to 15 feet. It takes up like half the center aisle when I walk down it. It's so fun. Okay, so yeah, this is a super, super long one, and I actually have to wear a harness underneath this dress.
Oh my goodness.
In order to hold the weight of this cape. So I put that on before I put on this dress, and it literally just clips in into my shoulders. Do you guys want to guess how heavy this is? No, I know, I couldn't even guess. It's 17 pounds.
17, wow.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah, it's the whole thing with the dress and the necklace and the crown, and I also wear a pretty heavy veil along with this one when I wear the full thing. 17 pounds. And this one, I think she's in like the 10 to 12 pound ratio. Again, it's the sequence. Do you want to come feel?
Be gentle.
Yeah. So go ahead and lift it up and just kind of feel. Is that crazy?
It's so heavy.
It's so heavy. I know. I know.
That is so heavy.
Yeah.
Because of the necklace and the crown.
That's right. And then this one is just, this one's so pretty. I love the way it catches the light. But then I wear this cape, and there's actually a strap that goes under my arms and straps in the back so that it won't fall off me.
Oh my.
And this beautiful pink veil with it too.
After being told about how our daughter's favorite part was Esther being crowned as queen, led us to talking about the celebration scene with the giant elephant, who we found actually has a name. Let's all meet the amazing Florence.
Here is Florence, or Flo, as we call her. Hey guys. Is that as big as you remembered? Yeah?
That's so giant.
It's so giant. You're right.
So realistic.
Hey Brandon.
How's it going?
Brandon is one of our drivers of the elephant. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so this is Florence. She is mostly pneumatic, so air powered. They took apart the innards of a remote control wheelchair to do the drive system. So there's actually still parts of it on there. But yeah, it allows me to remote control with this remote to get it to move. There's a driver who sits on the neck, and he will move the head around in the trunk, and then whoever's Esther has a little pedal that will wag the tail up there, which Emily gets to do every once in a while.
I do, yeah. So there are 2 points in the show where I have a body double, and one of them is up here, because you'll see when you watch the show, I go down the center aisle, and then like 5 seconds later, there's someone on an elephant. And then as soon as the elephant's gone, here I come again. It's not me. But that's actually my friend Kelsey, who's the understudy Esther. She, in her primary pattern, is the Esther body double. And so, yeah, like Brandon was saying, it's really fun when she's in for Esther. I get to do the body double stuff. So I get to ride the elephant about 3 times a week, which is so fun. I always say this. I've never ridden a real elephant, but it feels what I assume to be very real. It has this like sway back and forth. It's just so fun. And it's also really fun to get to wave to everyone in the audience when they wave back. It's so cool.
Yeah, our engineers watched a lot of videos trying to figure out how to get the motion correct of like doing the steps and having the whole body sway back and forth. So yeah, it turned out really well.
We were fortunate enough to see Florence in action during our behind-the-scenes tour. We're in awe of how realistic this motorized elephant looks, both from the perspective of being in the crowd as well as being up close. Jamie asked about where the controller of Florence stands during the show. Though it is difficult to see when watching from the audience, the controller is actually in a hooded celebration costume walking on the far side of Florence while the elephant carries Queen Esther's body double across the stage.
After meeting Flo, Emily offered to take us through the center gates of the palace in Susa.
The architecture and stuff that you'll see, the team who was creating and designing this show, they actually researched and pulled up images and drawings of what Persia looked like back at that time. So a lot of the things that you'll see, the decorations, the carvings, are actually what was seen in Susa at that time. Isn't that so cool?
Yeah.
Here are the big palace doors.
It looks like literally gold.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, literally gold.
Yeah, you're so right. So back here we have a whole bunch. Obviously this whole set just opens, and this whole, we call this part a wagon. This pushes out once the palace is opened, and you can see there's kind of just a whole bunch of sets going on back here. That's because the technician team will actually be changing all of these set pieces. I think this becomes like 2 or 3 different scenes throughout the show. Wow. So they take off the ladies' room, and then they bring on the garden, and so they do that a couple times throughout the show. And over here, we call this
They're in the show.
Yes. So this is a whole bunch of quick change spots. So this is where if you don't have time to change in your dressing room, you're gonna change somewhere back here. So these shelves are for the wigs. We've got these racks for all of the costumes, and then mirrors for you to make sure that your wig is on right, and then you run away. But all of these names and scenes, like Beautiful Girl into Palace Doors, he's changing from his Jewish ensemble costume into his garrison costume. So all of these labels mean that this is a hangar where someone's gonna make a change at some point during the show. And then you can see over here we've got all of our lanterns. So here, this is my little Esther lantern. I carry this twice throughout the show. And it has a little button under here that when you press it, it turns on. Isn't that so cool?
Yeah.
And then you press it again, and it's like a slow fade out. And so we have, again, all of the lanterns in this show. That's something super unique to this show, with just how many lights and stuff. So they've had to create these charging carts for us to plug in our lanterns. And we have all of these lanterns under here. And these ones are the really pretty ones that turn.
Pink.
Yes, you're right. Isn't that so pretty?
Yeah.
It's so fun. Plug that in. Boom. And then you'll see over here we've got even more lanterns.
Even more.
Yeah, and these ones are all different colors. Pink, green, blue, purple. And they all light up. And then they just plug back in and go to sleep for the night. And then over here, if you're hungry, we've got lots of food.
You think those are real, Carson?
No.
No.
Good guess. Was it the golden pear that gave it away? Yeah.
The golden pears.
Yeah.
The golden apples.
Yeah.
The golden
Yeah, this is all from that opening scene, the King's Feast. And they all like a lot of food. And then back here, this is actually a really fun part of the set. I don't know if we've talked about this, but the design of this set, it's basically like a giant dollhouse, and you guys kind of know that because you've seen the show, but you see the whole city of Susa, and then throughout the whole show, a house will spin, or a new piece of the palace will open up, or the curtains will open, and it's just constantly revealing something more. And this is actually a really fun piece of that. So on the other side of this, it just looks like it's built into the city of Susa. But then when it's time for the flashback scene, this whole piece of the building pushes out onto stage and turns around. And then you have this little hidden piece of where Hadassah and her parents used to live. And this is their little pottery room where her dad is teaching her how to make pottery and teaching her the ways of the Lord. It's so beautiful. But yeah, this is a super fun set. Sometimes we just come back here and just kind of spin it around a little bit.
A very unique part of Sight and Sound Theater Productions is their incorporation of live animal stars throughout the show. These animals have their own care facilities at the theater where they have their own animal caretakers and trainers who love and care for them each day. The question came up, how long do animals train for a show before trainers feel comfortable for them to take part in the show? Courtney, the marketing and community relations manager, helped us understand the answer to this question.
It's dependent on the animal. They talk so much about, with all of our animals, it's so much about relationship, and so much tender loving care is put into those relationships with all of our animal friends. But I'd say it's very different for all of them. And we have some animals that are unique to the shows. We have macaws in the show. They're not in every show that we have. Sweet Bonnie and Clyde are miniature horses. They're my favorite. They're not in every show, but they are adorable.
We sure do love the animals in all of the Sight and Sound productions. Between the Lancaster, Pennsylvania and Branson, Missouri locations, Sight and Sound Theaters plans far in advance for the future shows at each theater. Queen Esther runs through October of 2024, so be sure to see this production before it leaves the Branson stage. Miracle of Christmas will show in Branson during November and December of 2024. Then the production of David will be coming to the Branson Sight and Sound Theater stage for the first time in March of 2025. Though we were unable to take our cameras into the warehouse, we were able to catch a sneak peek of some of the set pieces of the David show. All we can say is this show is going to be a big hit, like giant.
The Sight and Sound productions are amazing from any seat in the house. However, we do receive quite a few questions about the best place to watch each show. Honestly, our answers will vary depending on what kind of experience you would like to have during each production.
The floor seating is really neat, especially if you can be close to an aisle where the animals and actors will utilize these pathways throughout the show. It feels like you are in the center of the action. The first few rows are also so incredible to be able to see the performers' expressions and emotions that they display so strongly in the show.
The raised seating is very cool to be able to view all of the panoramic stage. This is often where we like to sit with our young kids so that we can see all the action taking place at once. We often recommend this raised seating for families with small children because it is closer to the upper level restrooms that are often less busy and closer to the family rooms. These family rooms are where adults can take the fussy or active kiddos who might just need a break from the theater seats to be able to move around. There is a changing table in the family room. There are also comfortable gliders and a screen to be able to watch the show taking place so that you don't miss a single beat of the show.
We want to thank you all so much for joining us on this exclusive backstage tour to Sight and Sound Theater's production of Queen Esther. We want to be sure to also thank Sight and Sound Theaters for inviting us and allowing us to share this experience with you all. We do have a full video review of the show, which you can watch right after this video, along with our video reviews of Branson shows and attractions to plan your best vacation yet. More information about Sight and Sound Theaters, along with the link to purchase your tickets, is in the description below. If you have any additional questions, be sure to comment on this video. And until our next adventure, fam, we'll catch you all later.